Welcome back to my hobby room. I'm LJ, and I'm excited about this one. First of all, this is a very specific order here. So, you remember these lovely, dare I say, some of them not so lovely, backgrounds I made in the last video? Well, I was challenged to do something with them. And the person who challenged me is also going to be the recipient of this project. It happens to be my daughter who watches my videos and also does some crafting. So let's see what I could do with the ones I don't like. That was her challenge. So let's see what I can do and send them to her. She does not live in the same city as I do. So I will have to send them through the mail. I said when I made this that I really thought this would look good as a flower. So I'm going to try to make this into a flower. The reason I'm doing this like I am is because the green at the bottom kind of looked like leaves to me, and I thought that that yellow in the middle there would come out pretty good. So I went over and, did my die cutting thing, and I have to say, I would be pretty happy with these. I almost didn't send them. This almost got cut from this video, just FYI. But, in the spirit of, hey, I can make as many of these as I want. You saw the dies I have. These are Tim Holtz dies, and I absolutely love this die set. I've wanted it for a really long time, and when he made the vault, I went and got it, and look at these. Aren't they pretty? I could have used it all. Look at all that. There was like nothing left of that very not so pretty, but doesn't it make good foliage? I knew it would. At least in my head it would. And guess what? This time it turned out pretty good. So I'm happy with it, other than dropping this dye on it and trying to ruin them all. But that was pretty good. And so I thought, hey, this is really working out pretty well. So these backgrounds that I didn't know what to do with, hey, I found something to do with them. But I thought that that yellow needed a little bit more yellow to it. So I will put a little bit more yellow around there. But what am I going to do with this one? Well, you know what? When you're sending something through the mail and you want to give someone something, that die right there is the one you want to use. Look what it does. It cuts out this lovely little, I don't know how to explain what it is exactly. It's kind of like a little board you can put things in because it's got all those little spaces. And I've used it before, and I really like it. It's really fun for putting things in and kind of making them look good. But look at all that extra room I have around there. And these little guys that I'm taking out of here, I'm going to use them for something else. I like those. They're cut uniform and they kind of came out nice. So this thing already doesn't look as bad. Look at that. It's got some good little I, what am I trying to say here? It's got some oomph to it, It's got a lot of texture, and once I put this around the outside, that'll differentiate it a little bit, and I think it's going to look pretty nice putting this little tag on top of it and maybe putting something fun on top of it so it can say something. You got to be careful when you have something this dark though. What am I going to do? Unless I emboss it, which I don't want to do. Now, look how much darker it is than the background there, which kind of looks neat. Then I decide I'm going to put a pocket on the inside of this thing. And so I used, hey, I'm reusing things here, Nothing like I'm practicing for my upcoming junk journal project that I want to do. So I'm using some junk. And I thought, hey, this will be fun. I'll make a nice big pocket. I'll use some heavy duty. It's not really heavy duty. It's kind of light. It's like the same, like a oatmeal box or something. So it's not that heavy, but it's heavier than regular cardstock. So I figured it would hold more things on the inside. We'll get to the inside in a minute, but this is the order I did it in, so I wanted to show you. Now I'm back to gluing this. I don't know, don't know why I took that little side street there to do the pocket, but that's the order I did it in. I'm not taking it out of order. I should have probably, but I did not. So now I'm just gluing the outside of this, which it's kind of neat. If you glue the outside of it really well, and I did let it sit longer, you could tell I sped up the video in various areas. Otherwise, this was an hour and a half raw footage when I started with it. So getting it down to under 20 minutes is quite a feat in and of itself. And so now I'm putting these on top. These sat here for a long time, but they're going to be like a few seconds for you because, who wants to see it Watching glue dry, that's worse than watching paint dry. Now I got out my rub-ons because that's what I decided would be the thing that would work for my tag. And I went through and I found these are Tim Holtz rub-ons. I've had them for a long time. I've used some of them. Look at how many I got left to use. I'm pretty excited about that because I really like rub-ons. So I found one that said create art because I thought that's what we're doing. I'm giving her stuff to create art with, right? So, and what, when else would I really use that? I mean, think about it. When are you going to use something like that? You can't for a card, it's more for like a journal or something like that for sure. Or, unless, something like this, which will go through the mail and it will be, put in an envelope and just as if I was sending happy mail to someone I didn't know, it just happens to be my daughter who also does cards. So look how fast I did that. In real life, that was not anywhere near as fast as that. That's what I like about the magic of video, right? So when I put this on here, I also decide that I started to regularly to glue it, and then I thought, hey, you know what? I want to put a few more little white on there, little white doodads on there, make it look a little fancier. So I used my white gel pen. Then I'm using some of that orange. You see that orange right there on the right side? That is some of the paper from this. And what am I doing with it? I'm creating, just like I said in the last video, a little bit of levels so that it will level up that tag a little bit without using any of my foam. Jennifer McGuire is a big advocate of this, and if it's good enough for Jennifer McGuire, it is certainly good enough for anybody, including, especially me, I should say, not including, but anybody who does crafting knows that Jennifer McGuire is the queen of all, especially die cuts. So she knows what she's talking about, and she advocates for using paper underneath there. So that's I can use some of that orange underneath there, and now it's propped up a little bit, and I really think that looks not so bad. Doesn't look anywhere near like the background looked, So wait a minute, you're not even going to see that orange when we get done with it, or well, you'll see some of it, but not much of it. You know what I'm saying? Now I really had to speed this up because I'm not kidding. I took forever. So there's 3 of those little medallion type things that she can use for whatever, but I put them in there, and that's part of the the idea of the happy mails, that you give them things that they can use that maybe they don't have. So maybe she doesn't have a way to cut out these little medallions like this. That's not difficult. So I got 3 of those. I made them out of thick paper, and she'll be able to use them for a sentiment or put some of the flowers on, whatever she wants to do with them, obviously. They'll be hers to do what she wants with. Now, this was sometimes these go in there. What I should have done, I didn't give it as much slack as I did before. I didn't think I would need to because of these flowers. Or I should say foliage, because that's really what it is. But I really like the way that looks. I don't know why. It makes me happy. But I add stuff later. Now, the inside, she wanted baby stuff. She wanted stuff to make baby cards because she doesn't have nearly as many supplies as I have. So I told her I would share some of my supplies. So I was looking through and I found these cute little stickers that have like little ribbons on them and stuff. They're cute, but I'll share. And I have the special delivery. That's a die cut. And I was like, I got way more stuff than this. Come on, I got better stuff than this. Where's all my stuff? So I start looking through, and I looked at all my stamps. I'm telling you, I spent a lot of time looking through all my stickers, and I thought these were really cute. The little onesies, and I don't even know where I get all this stuff from. Sometimes I look at it and think, where did it come from? But this stamp set, this is one of my favorite stamp sets. I made one of my favorite cards I ever made out of that with the little handprints. But do I really want to stamp them all out and then cut them out? Like, she has the ability to, to stamp something. I don't think that's what she wanted. She wanted die cuts or things that were unusual that she couldn't just make herself, right? So that's what I started concentrating on. And I looked at what I had and I came up with a few ideas. So while you're looking at this special delivery, by the way, is really neat, but it is pink. So I have some things that are more pink and some that are more blue. this particular one, and some of them are yellow for, before you know what the baby is, I guess. But now people seem to know what they are. So yellow, I guess, is for random babies. I don't know what we do with yellow anymore. Used to be yellow and green was what we always put on, for oh, you're expecting or baby showers or whatever. But now everybody knows, most everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but most everybody already knows what the baby's sex will be before it's born. So now I'm trying to decide what to do with this. How am I going to get all this in there? I don't know. So I play around with it for considerable amount of that time I told you I spent trying to figure out things. And I decided to package them all together so she could do what she wants with them. But that's not what I wanted. This die cut I went through my dies and I found this die cut and it's a little mobile and I really like it. But I didn't want to make pink and blue and green and whatever. So I decided to give her white and off-white. And I decided that, I don't know, 3 white ones. And if she wants, she can take and layer them, or she can, just make one of them, use some ink on it. Whatever she wanted to do with it is fine with me. And then the other one's kind of an off-white. It's almost like a pale yellow, but it's kind of more, I don't even know. Oh, there's just my glasses got ended up on there. I didn't even know that was there. Anyway, I don't know why I took my glasses off. That's pretty funny, actually. Um, you don't want to see me crafting without my glasses on. That would be sad. So there's the 5 of them. And then I was like, okay, so we got 5 of these. What else do we have? We've got to have some other things and I remembered I had gotten a pack of paper. And this pack of paper you'll see over there. My absolute favorite punch. I bought this punch. It's one of the first things I bought, crafty. And I have used this so much. Because it's a big size, it can fit on a card, but so this paper is two-sided. So you get the one with the baby carriages has bottles on the other side, and then there's some stars with the onesies. So I punched out a bunch of those. Then I started punching out these little circles. And then I got a great idea because these little circles in 2 different sizes, I was just getting punch happy there. But the circles kind of fit a onesie or one of the little carriages. Like you could put some ink around them and, use them as part of a design. You could do a lot of stuff with these. I was looking at them going, these will be fun to play with. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Some of these, remember earlier I had the medallions I cut out? I also got some square ones apparently. The medallions I cut out, well, I also cut out a couple of the smaller circles. And if you take a look at the smaller circles, I think I'm going to show that to you in a couple of seconds here. But those smaller circles will fit on that little circle that I did earlier in the heavier cardstock. I think I'll show you that in a minute or two, maybe. I don't know. I know at some point I do. I think I'm trying to figure out if everything is going to fit in that pocket. That's the problem now. If the things don't fit in the pocket, they don't go in the mail. Not completely, just the stuff that I wanted to fit in there. It's probably not even true. I probably would put it in a bigger envelope, but you know how it goes. So then I go, oh, look at, here I have these little whites. See, look at this. Now watch. That fits right on top of there. How cool does that look? It's really cool. You could put 3 of those on a card, like, stagger them and put a sentiment on there. And how cool is that? Very nice, right? The special delivery would be nice with that, with the little bottles. But anyway, so there's a lot of little baby stuff going on in there. And then I was like, well, what about that pink thing on the side there? I kept that in mind all along. And oh, by the way, I'm showing you that the medallions from earlier, the bigger ones would fit in there. So, and those if you want, but you do whatever you want with them, right? You can do anything. So anyway, so I got out these things. I think I talked about these before. These I got, I think they were in some, package deal that I got at a thrift store or something. They don't stick anymore, but I use them all the time. I like them. So I cut them in half to fit into the envelope because they're not going to fit, but they should fit almost any card like along it. So I think she could use those. And especially because I get pink, blue, and green. So you can use a lot of the with the stuff that we got here. I thought they would go. So there's some pinks, some blues, and maybe I didn't give a green. Maybe I gave two pinks and a blue. I might have only had one green left. That's possible. Um, yeah, I'm trying to fit it all in there. I think that's kind of funny actually, but I thought it came out pretty good. And then I decided I would put all of these. If you look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put all of these inside one plastic bag kind of thing. Got them all consolidated there, and then they'll go there. And then I thought, she really does need a stamp set. I have several. You're not getting the one that I really wanted, which is what, the one that I really liked with the handprints, because that one's sentimental to me for various reasons. When our kids were little, we had taken their handprints and our handprints and put them all up on a wall, and I just really like that. I'd want to recreate that again sometime. But I did give her this stamp set, and it was about babies. It had special precious one. It could be used for a boy or a girl. It did have it's a girl, I think, in one area, but it also had, precious one, and it had a few other things. And then I looked at this. I put this and I tucked it in, and I thought, you know what though? I want to give her some of those flowers that I used in one of the other card videos that can go three-dimensional. And I had some yellow ones out there, and I thought, the yellow ones would be nice. She could also make them three-dimensional on a card, so I'll give her three of them because, that's what you need to usually kind of make a good card. You need at least three of something, nice odd number, and you could do whatever you want with them. You could put them on the tops of some of those greenery that's on there. You could do all kinds of stuff with them. So I thought that went pretty well, and it kind of broke up that white and that orange, and I quite honestly think I like the way that presents itself, even with that orange in there, even though, because it got tamed down by all that green and yellow and white I got going. And then I put the sentiment, I think it says sending lots of love. I put it on a foam tape because then she could take it off and reuse it if she wants. And so here's all my stuff all together that I made, and I think it came out pretty good. But if you're sending happy mail, maybe you could take some of these ideas. And also, if you've got one of those backgrounds that you just don't know what to do with, sometimes taking a die and using that die, using it in a way that will make it nice. And I think it came out pretty good. Keep crafting.
And dance by the light of the moon.